Okay, it's April 23rd, and we are right at 5 weeks on our air layering project on our citrus trees. So this is our lime. That is the cocktail tree, and we're layering the grapefruit on it and the rootstock, and then we have the lemon tree. So interesting so far. I noticed on week 4, it seemed like some of them were drying out. So fortunately, I didn't wrap the tops too tight, and a lot of these have a gap. And I've been trying to supplement them with water, but you can see that really this started probably not good, right? This guy's probably not going to make it, but you never know. There might be some roots that pop out of there. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, we're on week 5, and I expected some action, which we'll see a little bit on the lemon tree. By about week 5 to who knows, 6 to 8, we're going to go ahead and let this run the distance. Same thing with this one. Dried out, leaves not doing good. It's definitely hurting. Similar on the lime. Now this is all specific to the lime tree. I think those dried out. And the one up top actually is doing good. Week 5 seems to be doing good. We'll have to see. But boy, this lime tree is just chock full of limes. There's limes everywhere on this thing. Chock full of limes. You see them. So you can see why we wanted to replicate it. Look at all these limes. You know, they'll naturally shake down and thin themselves out. I was worried I was going to have to thin a lot of the limes, but it should be good. We're going to have a great lime harvest this year, but we'll see. The air layering on this one is looking rough on 3 out of the 4. It seems like there's hope for 1 of the 4. So let's go to the ruby red grapefruit. I love these. They're finally blooming. You know, they dial back in the winter time. Now he's got a bunch of yellow flowers all over them. Looking awesome. Lived all through the winter, frost and everything. So similar on this is a cocktail citrus tree, multiple grafts. Most of them died back. I think the rootstock and the ruby red grapefruit, they're the only ones that made it. And the grapefruit are amazing. We have a ton on here. Still are at the risk, probably have to thin some of these out as well, but it's going to be pretty amazing. So here we go. Here is, and that is not a root, that's a reflection, okay, on this plastic. Okay, so that's not a root for those who think it might be. See, there you go. All right. And he's hurting bad. We'll see. I might have started watering them about a week too late. It could have been a number of things. I was very light on the rooting hormone powder because I wanted to see, I didn't want to have to overdo it. So there's a number of things I would try again. Now this guy's doing good. He's got fruit on him still, you know, a little discoloration in the leaves. So there's definitely stress on that branch, but he seems to be doing well, and we might have caught it on the water piece. That guy's hurting for certain. So on this one, 1, 2, 3 seem to be hurting, and 1. Hey man, if I get 1 or 2 out of this whole thing that work, it's well worth it because the trees that I'm harvesting are amazing fruit that they produce. So, and this is free, or I could go pay $75 for a new one that's as mature as what I'm going to plant into this pot after we pick these. So those are good. And actually, all things considered, other than a little bit of spotting after 5 weeks, the rootstock's doing just fine, both those branches. So I don't see any root action in there in week 5, so we're gonna let it ride. Okay, lemon tree's doing really well. This is the one I think we already have 2. So we have 4 grafted on here. Another one. This is the 3rd time that it's bloomed this season this year, right? 3rd time. Now we had 3 rounds of frost. Okay, so it got down into the 30s and into the 20s. 3 different times, and then in between each one this spring we had 70-80 degree weather, right? And so, you know, tricked the trees into multiple blooms, and those multiple blooms lead into a bunch of fruit, right? So we already have tons of fruit that's going on this bad boy, right? Look at that yummy lemon. The lemons are amazing on this. It's not a Myers lemon. So let's take a look here. So these two guys are doing pretty good, and I think actually one of them possibly has a root. I think that right there, okay, I think that right there is a root. So we see just the tip of one forming. That's water there, but just the tip of one forming there, which is exciting. The branch is doing well. All these well, you know, the branch is definitely stressed, but the rest of it's doing very well. So that's one. That one, no, not so much. But I do believe this one is it. So this one we can see is out really good. It has a really nice lemon on it. I'd love to plant that in a pot. Let's see if we can get up here, and you can see, might not be able to see that, but anyway, there's a root that looks like it is. Let's pull this down here. That's definitely a root. There's a root right there. The rest is all water, but there's definitely a root right there. So I'm excited. That's two on this one. We have another one up here. So we'll see soon if we can go ahead and clone some of those bad boys. Oh, two more over there, right? Just doing really well. So that's the update. Week number 5. A little rough. Looks like we might be able to have one there. So batting 25%, same thing. We might be able to have one here, 25%, and might be able to have 2 so far to 4 on the lemon tree. So that would be 50%. And I heard, I don't know if this is true, that most rootstock, when they're grafting, they use a lemon variety as the rootstock. So that's kind of why I'm doing the rootstock, to see if that is true. But anyway, that's week number 5 update. Hope you're doing great wherever you are. Keep having fun.